Good morning. Today will be something in English about pigments used in Chapel of Ammon in Temple of Hatshepsut at Upper Egypt. This temple is restored by Polish mission, conducted many years with great successes. And now some information concerning turquoise pigment of turquoise color. There is long discussion concerning the genesis and sources of pigments used in various objects of Egypt, in temples, in tombs, for paintings of sculptures and various things. After investigation conducted around the Hatshepsut temple, now we know that red pigment was obtained from small nodules present in Esna shells just near the temple of Hatshepsut. The investigations were conducted by me and colleagues in Krakow, as well as by Tomasz Górecki. He worked in tomb 1152. This tomb was used as a small chapel, and walls are painted using red hematite pigment local. And even probably citizens of this chapel sell this pigment to many places, and at other places probably red pigment is originating from the region of Deir el-Bahari. In Esna shells are pigments, red pigments. But near of temple of Hatshepsut and in all valley of Egypt there are no blue and green pigments used in temples for painting of statues, of sculptures, etc. And it was supposed that material was collected in Sinai and next transported to the valley of the Nile and prepared in form of pigment, next used for paintings. And this small lecture concerned the relation between pigments from Sinai, collected by me during one excursion, not only one, by excursions, during the excursions, and investigation of pigments of turquoise color from Chapel of Ammon. So it's question if we have there the Upper Egypt Chapel of Ammon in Temple of Hatshepsut, and there is the area, and this arrow show, this peak of arrow show the place where pigments were collected. If was like this, if not, material was collected from the Sinai and material was collected from the temple, very small fragments, micrograins obtained during the conservation. And what we have in Upper Egypt in Chapel of Ammon, this is one of sculptures of drawing on the wall of chapel. It shows Ammon, and there are small fragments of turquoise pigment. This small, very small pieces were collected for investigation. And first of all was done X-ray diffraction. This is method used for determination of mineral composition of of this pigment. And what we have, of course, copper, magnesium, carbonate. There are formulas. Sulfur hydroxide, copper sulfate, and aluminum silicate, etc., etc. A lot. This means, this is documenting that it was not used one mineral for this painting, for preparation of turquoise pigments. There were the mixtures of various minerals. And it's necessary to say some words concerning group of turquoise. Turquoise, there are phosphates of copper and iron, and depending on this, what is in the structure, copper or iron, the turquoise is more blue or more green. And typical turquoise contain 50-50, about 50% of copper, 50% of iron, and because its color is not green and not blue, it's something between. And this color was used in chapel of Amun. Under scanning microscopy, small grains, much less than half millimeter, because there is half millimeter, so the grains are about 0.1 millimeter. It's very well seen that these grains were not grinded, they were crushed. The mineral for preparation of turquoise pigment was crushed, not grinded in mortar, because after grinding, minerals change the color. So they knew about this, and they crush material and mixed with ingredients, various substances, and put on the wall. And there are X-ray chemical examination confirming that the most important component is copper, and there are other elements present in this pigment from chapel from face of Amun, from chapel of Amun. And we have a small amount of silica and iron and many things. Analyses were conducted on a few grains, so as you see, at various places, various grains on the face of Amun are slightly various. At this place we have mostly silica and aluminium, and other places we have copper, and so it's not one substance. Analysis conducted, quantitative analysis conducted on the grains of material from face of Amun, from chapel of Amun, look like this. There are examples of a few analyses, and as you see, some grains are very rich in copper, other not too much. All contain copper, but this copper is various. This situation suggests that material used for preparation of the pigment used for painting of the face of Amun faces, because it's many sculptures in this chapel of face of Amun, where the mixture of various substances containing various amount of copper, of iron. As you see, there is 0.36, and there is iron 1.4, and other admixtures, silica, some grains a lot, not small amount, about 20%. In other grains is smaller, less, 2.5%. So now we go to the Sinai. It was a nice excursion conducted together with scientists from Ismailia University, because I don't know region, I don't know places. They conduct me and my friend to many places, and we collect samples. And one of the samples, the most interesting, with materials similar to this optically, macroscopically, to this we have in chapel of Amun in Hatshepsut temple. It was in Wadi el Regieta. It's localized more or less at this place. The area look like this. It's not exactly Regieta, it's near of the Regieta. Small mountains, magmatic rocks, metamorphic rocks with veins of various minerals, and very wide valleys filled up with the weathering material, secondary after weathering of mountains, mostly granitic, diabases are there and other. In Regieta we discover grains of this color. It's natural color, it's not because of the wrong photography. And as you see, there are green, there are small veins filled up with this material, and there are green and there are blue. And we did examination, and we have confirmation that one contain more copper and other contain more iron. And first of all, there are not phosphates, so there are not turquoise like it was supposed before, but there are silicates and various oxides, carbonates, and after grinding this material from Sinai look like this, and even one it's enlarged about 10 times. Everybody may see that there are various grains of various colors. Under polarizing microscopy, in polarizing light, it's evidently seen that structures of these colors are very complicated, are very unusual, because we have parts composed, for example, from this part, composed of malachite, and later is chrysocolla, for example, and later other, and iron minerals. Is seen zonality of crystallization because of the origin. There are products of hydrothermal origin, so one time hot water transported more copper, other time water conducted transported more iron and other elements. Structures are very beautiful, and products are very interesting. Together with malachite and chrysocolla, we have azurite, copper carbonate, and there are carbonates, calcium carbonate and calcium magnesium type of dolomite. Moreover, we have talc, metamorphic mineral, and it's not very frequent, but is present in these veins. So because these small samples are very complicated, are very complex, and the grains are very small, we take decision to make Raman spectroscopy. It's very useful method for examination of very small grains. And there are grains, there are small crystals from Regieta, from Sinai. And what we obtain? Chrysocolla and bronchantite and cuprit, it's sulfite, pseudomalachite, and other. So this confirmed that composition of this blue-green pigments from Sinai is complex. It's not one mineral. In Regita, it's composition of various minerals which make optical effect. One time it's blue, one time it's green, and green in various shadows. So now we know that in Chapel of Amun in Upper Egypt and in Sinai, at other places similar examination confirmed that mostly there are not single minerals, there are mixtures. We have mixtures of various minerals, and one time in this composition, in this mixture, we have more malachite. At other samples we have pseudo-malachite, and other there is more sulfides, and other there is more silicates, and so. So we did scanning microscopy of minerals from Regita, from Sinai, and we see now that in one sample from this site, from this place, probably small quarry, it was in the past, small mine, and because there are depressions that show traces of exploration, we have various minerals containing, for example, near 40% of copper, and at other places of the same samples the amount of the copper is 6%, and for example calcium is oscillating from 6 to 0.3%, etc. So there are mixtures of various minerals present in form of veins. Probably they crystallize long time, and depending on this, what kind of material was transported by hydrothermal waters, we have various composition, various chemical composition. In other samples, we have similar situation confirming the described by me situation. So copper is oscillating, as you see, other elements too. Silica, it's relatively high, so phosphorus only traces, so there are no phosphates, there are mostly silicates and sulfides and carbonates, things like this. And independent of the color, which suggests that it's turquoise, it's not turquoise. This is mixture of various minerals. And in literature, we have more and more papers, various articles concerning this relation of pigments from temples and tombs and minerals discovered at various places, not only in Sinai but in East Desert, and I collected some of them, slightly more interesting for mineralogists, and they represent sometimes very high level of knowledge, of methods, and were conducted examinations in Sinai by Germans together with Egyptian scientists. And if one like to see what is what and where, welcome to the bibliography, to the literature, and welcome to the continuation of these studies. Very interesting. I like to thank first of all director of the Polish mission in Hatshepsut temple, Dr. Zbigniew Szafrański, because he agreed for the examination, and I think that this examination and results add small grain of knowledge to the turquoise pigment of this temple. Probably at other temples is similar situation, because Sinai was the only one place where this kind of minerals, green and blue, are present, and other places, other localities where these minerals are present in Sinai were examined by me, and situation is similar. Are small places where are phosphates, this means turquoise, but there is not a lot, and not very good quality. So thank you very much, and see you on next lecture next time. All the best. Ma salama.